Guys, today we're replacing the clutch and brake pedal bracket on the 4Runner. I think mine's bent or cracked or something like that, but we're gonna go replace it and figure it out. So yeah, let's get the storage unit. I might not record too much because my dad's gonna be there and my kid, so but yeah, I'll show you what I do.
Alright guys, before I forget, I'm in the middle of removing the brake bracket up there right now, and we're gonna go ahead and install this new one here right there with all new Toyota brake assembly bracket. And we're gonna throw some ARP bolts on there all the way through for now. Give me a minute while I pull out the rest of these bolts and get this thing out. All right guys, brand new bracket is in there. You can see bolted down with ARP bolts. I gotta fix this wire for my LED flasher. Kind of fell out, but other than that, you gotta put this back on, and this, and then I gotta bolt back in and that.
So I'm finished replacing the pedal bracket. I'm gonna turn the camera around. I didn't record a whole lot because my dad was there and he doesn't really want to be on camera, so yeah, I didn't record a whole lot, but let me flip it around and I'll show you what I did.
All right, so it's probably gonna be really dark. Let me turn on my flash. Okie dokie. So you can see, it's probably hard to see because it's all black. This whole black bracket is the new brake bracket. The brake booster, I put ARP nuts all the way around the booster, and that's one ARP bolt that holds the bracket in. And we replaced the clip in there too because I had extra. And then there's the new master that's coming out of the bracket for the clutch. And all the springs and stuff are up there. I don't know if you can see them right up there. New bushings and all of it, and all the pedals and stuff. So let me turn back around to the front side over here.
And you can see fresh new fluid. Put ARP nuts on here too. And you can see on the back when I cleaned it off, there is a new gasket back there. It's probably hard, but you can see the corner of the gasket. The paint was coming off because the master cylinder, this is like the third one I put on, was leaking on the firewall there. This one's actually an Asian Toyota master cylinder, so it's not aftermarket or nothing like that. It's actually OEM. So after I replaced that, it doesn't look like it's leaking anymore. And the other pedal bracket didn't look like it was cracked or anything, but this feels completely different. And instead of my pedal engaging, my clutch engaging like all the way at the floor, it engages back where, I don't know, like an inch or two out of off a throw. So as soon as you put your foot on the pedal, you got like an inch or two, and then it starts engaging the clutch instead of having to put your foot all the way to the fucking floor, which is weird because I was expecting it to be cracked or something, but maybe it was bent, or I don't know. It looked pretty good to me, but I did save it, so I'll show you next time I go to the storage unit. But for now, that's fixed, and I'm happy about it because that was a big pain in my ass. I had to keep topping off my fluid, and it was kind of getting annoying. Plus, the fluid wouldn't stay clear for like longer than 2 days. It would turn black. It was bad. So that's fixed, and yeah, easy peasy weekend. I'm gonna attach some photos of the new bracket below with the part number on it, so you can try to find one yourself if you need one, but they're pretty hard to come by. So all right guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time I do something. I don't know. One more thing I want to add in at the end of here is that the bracket is a super simple job. So literally, like, not that much. You got to remove that panel, the plastic panel underneath the steering column, and then you need to remove the master cylinder bolts for the slave cylinder, or the master cylinder bolts for the clutch. Why the fuck did I say slave cylinder? Those two nuts on the outside, you gotta take those off. Then you gotta take off the 4 nuts that hold the brake booster on. And then under the brake booster, there's under the 4 nuts, there's one bolt that holds the bracket onto the firewall. And then up above by there's one by the brake pedal and one by the clutch pedal. There's 2 bolts that go straight up into the crossbar. So you gotta take those 2 bolts out, and then drop the steering column. Pretty simple. I took mine completely out. So I took the 2 nuts off the steering column in the front, took the 2 bolts out in the rear, and then you take the 1 bolt out holding the shaft, holding the steering column onto the actual drive shaft there. So steering shaft. What am I talking about? So yeah, it's super simple. It took like an hour-ish, and then flush the system again with, I use DOT4 synthetic. I don't use DOT3. But yeah, other than that, super simple job, takes about an hour. Don't be scared to do it. All right, guys, see you later.